Hi everyone. I know a lot of my friends out there are asking this question, why are you moving? So I wanted to do a video today just to kind of tell everybody what's going on. Those of you who are very close to me are very concerned. You're asking a lot of questions, and I want to be honest with you and tell you what's going on. Some of you may know, I have completely just did a real big sweep of my Facebook friends. And the reason why I did that is because at the time I was going through a very difficult situation with my husband and really needed just a really small, close group of people who I could vent to and it not become real public. Although my videos on YouTube, I decided to make some of that situation a little bit public. I'm trying to mess with my hair, so just bear with. Okay, so this winter, we had a really rough time financially. As many of you know who know me personally, you know that my husband's job kind of starts dwindling down. His hours get cut, his bonuses get cut. It's a big disaster. As you also know, we moved from a very bad situation with our ex-landlords, and we were going through a court battle due to what happened moving here. I have not released any of this information before because I really thought I was building a great relationship with our current landlord and have discovered that our landlord here is probably far worse than we had with our ex-landlords. We are going through an absolute nightmare here. And I'm really trying to be a little bit better about it. I don't want to fight with the landlord. I don't want to give her name. I don't want to get into any of that. I don't want to discredit her or drag her through the mud. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you plain and simply what happened, and I'm going to start at the beginning. So if you have the time, make the time. Grab your coffee, grab your drink, grab a beer, because this is a rough ride. Again, this was not something that I mentioned when we moved in and when we were going through our court battle with our ex-landlords because I really didn't want to rock the boat with our new landlord. Things in my spirit did not sit right with me, with her. And there was a lot of instances where I just felt like she was not flexible. She was not very compassionate. She was not very concerned. She wanted to be up in our business and she really wanted to know everything about us personally. She was here all the time and I thought we were building a friendship, which is one of the reasons why I didn't really diss her, so to speak. I really wanted to continue the relationship I was building. However, one of the main reasons why we ended up in court with our ex-landlord was because of her. We really wanted to work with our landlord, our ex-landlord, and do the right thing. We wanted to give them 45 days notice, and we wanted to just end it very civilly and amicably and just politely and do the right thing. So we did tell them that we were giving them a 45-day notice. We told them we'd be out by mid-September because we wanted to do the right thing. However, our current landlord said no, she was not going to work with us that way, that we were either moving in on September 1st or we were going to lose the house. And as you know, we were going through so much trouble with the ex-landlords that we just decided, you know what, we're going to have to do whatever we have to do. And we moved here at the end of August. And as you know, we were locked out of our house. We had our things moved out by the owner. Everything was done illegally. And that's a big mess. And I don't want to get into it again. But then we were sued because we left early. So then we were sued for rent and we were sued for our security deposit and all this stuff just because our current landlord did not want to work with us here. She did not care. And then she kept pushing me to sue my ex-landlords. And that's how that all started. she was very encouraging. She said, they didn't have a leg to stand on. She said that I would totally get all my money back, and that never happened. I trusted her because she has been a landlord for many years and she has many properties, so I trusted her. She was guiding me through this process, and as you know, we only walked away with $300 out of the $2,500 that we should have gotten back. They broke the law, and yet they only had to pay us back $300. So we lost a lot of money there, and a lot of that money was going to be used to put aside for the winter months because we knew what our situation was going to be like. And we had told our current landlord before we moved in, when we talked to her about renting this place, that the winter months were a lot different financially for us and would be a little bit more difficult. She forced us to go on an automatic withdrawal on our bank, so our rent comes out on the first of the month, every single month, directly out of our bank. We have no way to say, can we give you, $100 in a couple days? We'll pay you the full amount except for $100, and we'll pay you in a couple days, which we were able to do with our ex-landlords, and they were so cool about it. Like, it's just kind of weird. So she's given us no room to work. If there's a situation that comes up, she gives us no room to really let us work it out with her. So in the winter months, in November, things started going downhill for us financially. We brought it to her attention. We found a house that was $300 cheaper than what we're paying here. The house was bigger. It was closer to the lake. The lot was bigger. And I just kind of said, hey, I didn't say anything about this house. I just told her that we were going through a rough time, that we told her this was going to happen. So she responded back and said, what do you feel comfortable paying? And if he's making more, maybe we can have you pay less during the winter and pay more during the summer months. And we were like really awesome about it. So what I did is I went online and I found a house that was for rent, bigger, as I said, $300 cheaper, and I brought that to her attention. She kind of ignored me. So then I started doing my research because I'm one of those people, like, I want to be fair. I don't want to be like, hey, chip off $500 because that's not fair. I did offer her like $150 less than what we pay, and I based it on Zillow. She came back at me and went off on me about Zillow, and Zillow is not accurate, and she sent me all these articles about how Zillow is not an accurate source to estimate rent. However, real estate agents will tell you that Zillow is exactly the place you want to go for those estimates. So then I decided, okay, well, I'm going to figure out how people actually determine what rent is worth for a house. And so I did that, and I went to a lot of realtor sites, and they all gave the same exact information, and I discovered that we are paying at least $200 more over the median of what she should be charging us for the value of this house. I did not say that. I just brought to her attention that, this is what else I found out. She said, I don't ever want to hear you talk to me about this again. And she went off on me and told me, I'm not talking to you until after Christmas. And at that point, we weren't even going to have a Christmas because we were so broke. We had no money. I had to sell off family heirlooms just to give her rent. I have sold off so much of my family antiques that have been in my family for at least 3 generations. They're all gone. Then I had to sell my furniture because that was her answer to everything. Sell your furniture. Sell your things that are worth something. So that's what we did because she was no longer willing to work with us at all. So we sold our furniture and we sat on lawn chairs in our living room for quite some time, and now we're sitting on a dingy old couch that was used as a trampoline with all the neighborhood kids in our garage, and it's broke, so that's what we're sitting on now, and we have nothing left to sell at this point. So because we sold everything that we possibly could to continue paying her. Then we didn't have rent again, and we brought it up to her again. She completely ignored us, and she told us that we were living in a pristine house, and she was not overcharging us. In fact, she's not making any money off of our house, even though she told me when we were friends that we were paying her retirement fund. She said this was her retirement property. We were paying into her retirement fund. So I know that she's lying about that. She claims to be a Christian. She prayed over this house with us. So she's had no compassion on us whatsoever. She has never helped us, even though she said she was going to. She has made us sell everything, never even once gave a rip about how we have sold off everything valuable and personal to us. She didn't care. She never once made an effort to say, I'm really sorry that you're going through this. I would really like to help you. In the meantime, so now here we are in May. We're having a very tough month, and some of you are going, well, you're buying all that makeup. I'm not, by the way. Friends have given me gift cards. I actually got a credit card. I do have a credit card that I've been using and paying off. So when Jared took out a loan on his 401k to pay 2 months of our rent and to pay the utility bills, because our utility bills were $300 a month in the winter on top of what we were paying, it was insane. We could not pay our utility bills because she was forcing us to pay, and she was not going to take it out. She was not going to take us off that automatic withdrawal. So anytime that we were in a bind, the problem is that if it came automatically out of our bank, it was going to throw our bank into the negative. So we had to do everything that we possibly could to make sure that that money was in there. And if it wasn't, we'd be in hell on earth. As you know, if anybody's had an NFS, how it trickles. They charge you $40 for it, then it's constantly trying to add up, and you never really get out of that hole. And so we were really scared, so we just didn't pay our utilities. We'd pay like $25, $50 here, whatever we could, but we had nothing else. We had rent, and that was it. We depended on friends for food. We depended on friends, Jared's people that he worked with, for gas money for him to get to work, because that's all we had. We had nothing left. We had very little of a Christmas, and the only reason why we had a Christmas was because when we first moved here, we put $300, $400 down on a bed that we were going to get, and we needed a new bed with my neuropathy, found a really great bed, and we put it on layaway, and we put $400 periodically on this bed. And we just went to the guy, who was not a Christian, by the way, and told him our situation. And he said, you know what, come back tomorrow to Jared. And Jared went back the next day, and the guy said, you know what, we're going through a really tough time too. We're going to probably have to shut down the shop, and we're going to have to file for bankruptcy, but we're going to give you your money back because we don't want to see a young family struggling the way that you are. So we are going to give you your money back, and we're going to keep $50, but that's only to hold the bed for you in case you want to come back. How beautiful was that? Now, this was a total stranger, and yet we couldn't even get our landlord to do that. So this was a cycle, like we're starting to see the true colors of our landlord. So when she told us we lived in a pristine house, I was like, no. When we moved into this house was disgusting dirty. The carpet, I actually, Tavin spilled some milk once, and when I went to go wipe it up, like, it was pitch black when I went to go wipe it up. I told her about it. She said, oh, go ahead and clean the carpets, and I'll reimburse you. Now she's telling us that she'll only reimburse us half for the carpet cleaning. When we were talking to her during the winter months, she made us turn our water on, which we had like almost a $200 water bill because we had to put our water on every night that it was cold out, she would send us these, like you're a child reminder, don't forget to turn the water on tonight because it's going to be freezing, and if you break the pipes, you have to pay for it, but keep in mind that I'll reimburse you for the water after the winter. So we were like, okay, well, that's what we have to do, and if the water bill is high, then, she's going to reimburse us. No. She just told us not too long ago she's only reimbursing us $20 for all that money we spent on water dripping every night. Swear to you. And I was livid about this. So at that point, I was like, you're lying. You lied to us and said you were going to give us a reimbursement. You said you were going to reimburse me for the carpet cleaning because this house was not clean when we moved in. She did nothing to it when we moved in here. And so for her to say that we live in a pristine house, she changed the door locks. She changed the doorknobs on our front doors. The back door jams, so there are times that we can't get in at all in our own house because we lock the front screen because it's very important that I have safety. However, the front doorknob just falls off, so all you have is that little stick, with the lock, because the actual handle always comes off. I told her about that. I told her that the tile was coming up in the kitchen, and her response was, there's tile in the basement, fix it yourself. I don't pay you what I pay you for you to tell me to fix it myself. So there were a lot of other things going on that were wrong. She says, okay, I'll take a look at it. We got a brand new stove because the stove didn't work. So then when we got a new stove, the people who brought it in didn't even hook it up. So we went another day without an oven. We were a week without a stove or an oven. Okay. Then when they did bring it in, they bumped it into the wall, broke all the trimming on the walls, and scraped up the brand new stove. Then we found out that it wasn't a brand new stove, it was used, and the front burner didn't work, and this was months ago, and she told us that she would have her husband come look at that burner and have it fixed within the next couple days. It's still not fixed. The trimming, she said, would be fixed. It's still not fixed. The doorknobs are still not fixed. The French doors, the doorknobs are off of that. Still not fixed. The tiling, still not fixed. She hasn't fixed anything in this house. And if she tells you she's coming over, she will never give you a time. She'll just say, I'm coming there tomorrow. And I'll say, what time? She ignores me completely. Good night is what she says to me the last time she was coming. Good night. Like completely ignoring me. What are you coming here for? I have something to fix. She doesn't tell me. She said she sent us this text. She never sent it to me or Jared. So she's lying about that. Then when I said, hey, you know what? I asked you what time you were coming. You never responded to me. She responded to me the next morning at 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get it till 9. And then she said, I'm going to be there at 1 o'clock today. I said, no, you're not. I asked you last night what time you'd be here. You did not respond to me till 7 o'clock in the morning. I didn't get it till 9. And now you expect me to just, have you here anytime you feel like it. So she said, fine, I'll be there on the 21st to fix it, to respect your privacy and to give you a time. She says, when the day gets closer, I'll tell you what time I'll be there. She never showed up. She never texted us. She's never even rescheduled. That was May 21st. Today is May 28th, and the hose still hasn't been fixed. We have asked her to. We told her that we did not have rent for June. We told her that we could give her part of the rent on the 1st, and then we would give her the rest on the 7th when Jared got his bonus, which is going to be a very good bonus because this is the time that things start picking up for him. So we asked if we could be put, taken off automatic withdrawal so that it wouldn't throw our account into the negative. She said, no, sorry, I can't do that. I have bills that I have to pay too. And so at that point, after talking to her numerous times, telling her throughout this month we were not going to have June's rent, that it was my birthday, Tavin's birthday, our wedding anniversary, Mother's Day, what? We're supposed to not celebrate our son's birthday or my birthday or our anniversary at all so that you can have rent again. And I'm just really tired of it. We're house poor. We can't live. And when I do get something, like I bought myself a top and something at Ross, as some of you know, I bought a couple items at Ross and I felt guilty about it. I felt like I should not have gotten myself anything, even though I haven't gotten myself anything in probably 2 years, and I never get anything for my birthday, but this was a big one. I was turning 50 years old, and I was sick and tired of just not being able to live because I got to pay rent all the time, and I have nothing else that I can pay because I'm paying such high rent here. She does not care. She does not care. There's no compassion whatsoever. There's no let me work with you, nothing. So when Jared contacted her, he contacted her then after I had already done it 2 times, told her about our situation. He finally contacted her and she says, no, I can't do that. I'm not going to work with you. So at that point, I just wrote her back and I said, I understand that you told Jared you're not going to work with us. I'm sorry, but I'm going to put a stop payment on your rent payment for us for the automatic withdrawal. We don't have the money. I'm not going to put myself in a bad situation, by having our account go in the negative. If you feel like you want to evict us at that point, then that's what you need to do. But please keep in mind that any eviction notice will tell you that, because I've been doing all this research, and from what I've gone through with my ex-landlord, all the laws, I know, I've been figuring this all out. I finally said, if you want to go down to the courthouse and pay $200 to file all this stuff on us, to evict us, you can do that. But those eviction papers are going to say to us that we either have to pay in full or make payment arrangements with the landlord, which we have already tried to do with you, and you have rejected that. Not only that, I'm reminding you that numerous things have been brought to your attention that have not been fixed. The washing machine, we were out without a washing machine for a week. We pay rent for that. We pay rent for a stove that we still have not full use. We still can't use it fully to the full capacity of it for months. We live in a house where doorknobs come off and where we get jammed and locked out of the house. You still haven't fixed any of those things. So if you want to evict us, you can do that. But we've already asked you to make payment arrangements with us, and you have refused. She did not respond. So we found an apartment, we applied for it, and we will get it. It's just a matter of trying to come up with the money now to move again. I'm having a large moving sale next weekend, and I don't want to price anything. I just need to get rid of things because we're going now from a 2-story, 3-bedroom house now to a 2-bedroom, 1,045 square feet apartment with no storage unit. So I really have to downsize. I could really use the money because we don't have the money to move either, which is what we said to her. We can't afford to live here, but we know we have to move. But the problem is that we keep paying you all this high rent. We're never going to be able to move because we can't save any money. So that's a problem. We don't have any money to move because we've been paying her rent. And so I'm having this garage sale. It's donation only. Everything is just take what you want. There's going to be a little bucket there. I'm going to just have like a coffee bin that's not see-through because I don't want to see what you're giving me if anybody's coming. I just want you to donate what you think, that whatever you can give, because I know there's people out there that can't give a lot, and that's okay. But if you can give more and you're taking some of my higher end products, I expect you to be fair. That's all I'm asking, is that you be fair. If you can't afford it, I understand. I'm not going to be like, how much did you put in the bucket? Oh, she only put $2 in? I'm not going to be watching the bucket. Seriously, I'm just going to be answering any questions because I need to sell things to get rid of them, and I need to make some money to move because we don't have the money. We don't have the deposit. We don't have the first month's rent, but we are able to move in there as soon as possible. And I would like to get in there next week. Seriously, I want to be out of this house next week. I'm already packing. And so I wrote our current landlord and I said, because you have broken our lease by not fixing these items that we have brought to your attention months ago, you have broken our lease and we are moving immediately. You have refused to make payment arrangements with us. You have refused to work with us, and you have broken our lease, not us. And so we want to move immediately. She still has not responded. She does not communicate with us. It's just been a nightmare. So we're looking to move back out to Pleasant Prairie in an apartment out there. So it has a pool, which is nice. And it's in a really nice area. However, our apartment is going to be facing Highway H, which is a busy highway out in the county there during the rush hours, morning, afternoon, school. So it's kind of a drag, but we're trying to figure things out. But it's a super nice apartment. It's beautiful. It's nice. We can paint. That's something we weren't able to do here. She would not let us paint anything. She didn't let us take this ugly border in our living room. I asked her when we first moved in if she would take it down, and she said yes. And it's still up and ugly. And I brought that to her attention a million times too. She just completely ignores me when I tell her about things that are wrong. So it's really, really frustrating. You know, she came to do an inspection one day and didn't say a word to us about anything, you know, and then like a couple weeks later, she comes back, I got to come fix some things. It's like, it was a month later. I need to fix some things. I'm like, fix what? And I said, if there were things that needed to be fixed, when you did your inspection, you should have wrote us and said, here's what I found wrong. I'll be here on such and such a date. I'm going to work with this when the weather gets nicer. So we'll make arrangements then. She never did any of that. If you're going to do an inspection, do a report and tell your tenants what's happening, what's wrong, what are you going to do? Nothing. Nothing at all. She walked in, she walked out, and that was it. And she told us she was going to talk to us that day about reimbursing us for water and everything else, and never did. She just completely ignores us. So the problem is here, and I'm going on 27 minutes. Sorry. I told you this was going to be long because I'm telling you the whole story for those of you who want to listen and want to know what's going on. I just feel like I can't trust people in this situation anymore. We've been living under the thumbs of people who are just taking our money and doing nothing to help us. At least our ex-landlords, you know, when we had situations like this, they were nice about it. They would give us a hard time, like, you know, we could evict you. And I would say, well, go ahead. We told you we were going to give you your money. The problem is we really can't afford the rent that's out there today. I don't know if any of you have looked out there in this area. There's no houses whatsoever for rent. And if they are, they're going for like $1,500, $1,700. We're already paying way above what we should be. So finding something economical for us right now is incredibly hard. Our apartment that we are going to be moving into is $200 less than what we're paying now. However, we have to pay pet fees. So it really is kind of going to be a little bit more, just $100 less than what we're paying here. However, our utilities will be a lot less. We're living in an old house that has leaky doors. When we told her that too, that the doors were bringing in all this cold air. We were stuffing them with towels. She never fixed any of it. She never insulated. She never did anything to help us, to do the right thing, to make it economical for us to live here. She didn't come in, put the plastic up on the windows or do the insulation on the doors or the windows. She made us pay $300 a month in utilities, so now we're really behind on our utilities too, which is going to really mess us over with our credit. And as you know, we just filed for bankruptcy a year ago, and thanks to this woman who does not care about anything and will not help us, will not do the right things, and will not make the house affordable to live in, even if it meant doing something during the winter to keep the house warmer and not, so drafty to where the heat was running all the time. If we had had that, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in. And because we're in the situation, now our credit is bad again. And now it looks terrible for us that we filed for bankruptcy and our credit's bad again. We can't win. We keep spinning out of control. And it's like no matter what we do, we can't get out of this bad situation. And so for me, it's like I'd rather live in an apartment where I don't have to deal with people like this who are going to ignore us, who are going to be mean to us, who just don't care. Even at an apartment, you get a 5-day grace period. My best friend who owns a house, Jay, he told us they get a 15-day grace period on a mortgage. Why can't I have a grace period as a renter? Why am I forced to have money taken out of my bank knowing full well I don't have it? Why would you do that to somebody? Why would you not work with them? Why would you not say, oh, I don't want that to happen? Because you're going to get it, but she's going to charge me for it too. So it's all about, it's just a really bad situation. And I'm really sad that it came to this because, as you know, when we moved in here, we really thought this was going to be the place that we were going to be for quite some time. We really thought that this woman was on our side. She was a Christian. She was a sister in Christ. We truly believed that. And I know for a fact now that there is not a Christian bone in her body that can do the things that she's done to us as fellow believers. She has no compassion, no mercy, no forgiveness, no love, no tenderness, nothing. And she has not wanted to help us at all as a human being and as a Christian and as a sister in Christ. And I find that so disheartening, but that's what I'm finding in the world of Christianity lately. And it's been really, really hard for me to deal with. So anyway, that is a long story short, really quite short. There's a lot more to it, but I don't want to get into it because now I'm already at 30 minutes and I may have lost many of you. I hope not. I hope you listened to this and watched it for those of you who are really concerned about what's going on with us and why we're moving again. And I don't know. I don't want to ask for help, but we need help. That's all I've got to say. And if you want to help, come to our moving sale and stick some money in that bucket and take something. If you want to help, you don't even have to do that. Just help us. I'm not going to cry because I can't take it anymore. I'm just really tired, you guys. I'm just tired. I'm tired of people. I'm tired of Christians who really burn other Christians and will do the most rotten things to them. It's really sad. It's a sad time in my life to see other Christians hurting each other this way. So that's really kind of my biggest problem right now.